We're going to start over. We got that cough right at the beginning. Can't believe it. All this time in preparation.
That's right. Try to sneak it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cigar City Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Clay, what's up?
Hey, man, nothing much. Just glad to be here.
That's good.
You can tell by the cough instead of Nello. Nello's not here today.
No, Nello's not here today. And there's a very good reason why. And before you guys rush to judgment, I want you to know that Nello's human, just like you and me, and he has faults. He was not able to make today's episode because he's still working on that 20th push-up. We sent him the National Guard, sent him water, food, and said, just get him home.
Right now, he's in the middle of a Rocky montage.
The diagnosis doesn't look good.
Running up and down the steps.
Yeah, he hopefully doesn't succumb to the 20 push-ups. But
he did want me to let everybody know
I was about to say
that he is very excited about the upcoming Cowboys football season and what they're going to do in the draft, and he wants everybody to know that we dem boys.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
He I just kept trying to calmly ask him anything he wanted me to bring up on the show, and he was shouting over me, "How about them Cowboys?"
Yep.
I was like, "Okay, Nello, God."
We get it. You're a Cowboys fan.
He's like, "How about them Cowboys?"
I'm just glad to see him openly admit it and be himself, because I feel like that's a big burden off of his shoulders.
That was, so much stress came off of him when he finally came in wearing that Troy Aikman jersey. He was like, "Guys, I feel alive. I feel free."
Yeah.
It's a little weird
So
to picture
happy
more
for
of a
him.
Zeke fan, but Troy it's not bad either.
Yeah, no. He said this has been going on for a long time. You know what I mean? He was going to get a Zeke. But actually, I had to talk him out of the Amari Cooper. I was like, "Listen, man, you don't want to double down."
I think he went with Troy. He brought that picture in of him and Emmitt Smith in that embrace, and I just feel like he wasn't going Zeke just out of respect.
I felt like that was a good photo, but the photoshopped one of Troy bathing him in the sink was just disturbing.
Yeah, I know. It was too far.
I was like, you may not want to show that one to anybody.
Some people should not be allowed to have Photoshop.
Yeah, Nello's one of them. He tried to Photoshop the rest of his push-ups. Whoops. Can't do that. This ain't stop motion, Nello.
I can't wait for that to be dropped into my eulogy. I can't wait for
what's in the eulogy?
It's just whoever gives my eulogy is going to go through some highlights of my life. Hopefully I outlive you. I don't outlive you. So if it's you, that's one of the many things that you have shared with me over time that are on the top of my memories that I want out there.
Yep.
To all my friends and loved ones that get all probably dozen of them by then.
I'm gonna step into the eulogy and just hot mic it.
That's it.
Just walking it.
I do not want you to take notes or write anything down. Just go off the hip.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna show up with a Miller Lite and be like, "Roll Tide."
I used to do that to Clay in public. I'd be like, "You remember that one night in Minnesota?" In front of everybody, they'd be looking at him like, "What the fuck?" I'd be like, "You were so gentle." And they always just look around like, "What is about to happen?"
What did happen?
Jackie's just going to be on the front row being like, "This son of a bitch, I knew he was going to take it here."
Old Jackie, I love that impersonation.
He said he wasn't going to be a rabble-rouser at the eulogy. And I'll be dadgummit.
She's going to get so mad her dentures will fall out. Just kidding. Jackie, I love you. You're a beautiful person. Inside and out.
Absolutely.
So no Nello. And this is a great week for him to not be here because he actually did win 2 bets.
Yeah.
For once.
For once.
Yeah. Which good for him. Here you go, bud. That's for you.
Golf clap.
I did not get a part of this bet, but he bet on Tai Tuivasa going against Derek Lewis with one of our listeners / technical producers, Mr. Michael Wise. And Derek Lewis got knocked out. It looked like it was going to go the other way. Derek kind of jumped on him, and then, as happens in the fight game, one stray elbow, and he started, his legs looked like linguine, and he just fell straight down. But other than that, I didn't get to see much of that card. I just watched the Tai Tuivasa Derek Lewis just for that. I don't know if Adesanya retained, did he?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was another. Did we talk about the trade that happened with the 76ers too? I'm trying to think of all the Nello crap that he doesn't shut up about in the chat.
Well, I know he was very happy to see Ben Simmons go.
No, what? I thought that was why he was crying.
No, he hates Simmons.
Oh.
And so he was glad to see that go, but he wasn't happy overall with it because they gave
way too much.
Yeah.
Harden, 5 years ago? Maybe you give that much up?
5 years. So what's your typical lifetime in a basketball's career?
Technically, they just jog a lot. So, I mean, as long as you can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron James is 37.
Jeez,
Harden. Would you consider Harden a physical player?
I couldn't.
Because I don't.
Quite honest, I couldn't tell you. I haven't watched basketball.
Okay, well, I can
in years.
I can tell you, I've watched a good enough amount to say he's not very physical. So they could get several more years out of him. It's just that's a lot to give up for a guy that's going to slow down late in the game. And if you're talking about being in the playoffs with him, it just is what it's age,
sure.
Because they jog, but it's a pretty damn good bit of jogging.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And they're just a skosh physical with each other.
32, not like the old days.
No, not like the old days. But no sports are like the old days.
No, they've powder puffed every.
I have a feeling that some of those older NFL players would last in today's game. They would do good, but some of these new basketball players would not do well in the old game. Nope. They would get mugged. They would get really, really beat up, and then they would start crying, and things wouldn't go well.
Ask Michael Jordan.
But you put somebody like let's pick Aaron Donald. God forbid. I mean, he's the best player in the league right now. You put him at any era of football, he's going to be a mauler
for sure.
Yeah,
I actually think he would be better statistically. 10 years ago when you didn't have to worry about the calls on roughing the passer.
Right.
Because he would be full aggressive.
Well, you would see a lot more running plays. Because, I mean, obviously running was a lot more prevalent back then, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
For sure.
I had a story about this guy, Michael Lewis. I used to work with him down at State Theater in St. Pete. Great guy. Used to play for the New Orleans Saints. He was supposed to get traded to the 49ers. He got in an car accident. Some lady ran him over in the street, and he wasn't able to keep playing. But either way, he told me this story one time playing for the Saints. He was playing against the 49ers, and he sacked Joe Montana. And Joe Montana's on the ground, and he goes, "Who is that?" And he goes, "It's Michael Lewis, sir." And he stood him up and goes, "Hey, can I get a picture with you after the game?" And Joe Montana was like, "Don't hit me like that again. I'll give you a picture." So quarter goes by. Mike gets him again. Big sack, Joe Montana. Joe goes, "Who is that?" He goes, "Michael Lewis, sir." And Joe stands up and goes, "You can forget that Polaroid." He was serious. Yep. He didn't give him a picture because he sacked him twice.
I'll take that.
Yeah, right. I'd rather take that footage of me getting your ass twice.
Yeah, that's like our boy Styles when he's sacking Tom Brady. I'll take that.
Yeah. Did Styles sack Tom Brady?
I want to say I saw he sacked Tom Brady once.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, God forbid if he had a quarterback to have a shot at, Tom Brady was it.
Was it Brady or Rodgers? Whoever it was one of them big names.
I want to say it was Rodgers because didn't he also play for Chicago at some point? Look him up. I know he played here in Tampa. That's why I loved him. He's a big Cleveland fan from what I understand.
Yep. I know he played for the Titans for a smidge.
So you're a big fan, then, Mr. Tighten Up.
I've been trying to get him to give me a jersey, and he acts like he doesn't.
Acts like he doesn't know you.
No,
I don't know what you mean, man. What are you talking about?
He's like, we don't even get those jerseys. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But apparently, he wasn't there long in Tennessee. Good old Styles G. White.
Anyway, how about the Super Bowl while you get that for us?
How about that?
That was clearly the subject of today's episode.
Speaking of Aaron Donald, that last play where he sacked Burrow, have you seen the footage where Jamar Chase, Ramsey was on the ground and Chase was wide open?
No.
If Burrow would have had another 2 seconds, that is a deep ball touchdown.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Ramsey, the picture I saw is he is laying down or falling down, and Chase is just running.
Running free.
So if Donald hadn't have gotten back there as quickly as he did, you're talking about a Bengals Super Bowl.
But, hey, all kudos to the champs, to the Rams.
Yeah. Did you see when what's his face?
Sherman?
No, the coach.
Oh, McVay.
That's what it is. Okay. When McVay, before the play happened, he goes to Donald. He's like, "This is your moment." He's like, "Make it happen." And then, like, on the sideline, he's like, "Donald's about to win this," and then he does. That's crazy.
I mean, that guy is such a generational talent. Who knew coming out of Pitt that Aaron Donald was going to turn into who he did? I mean, like, and the reason I say that is because you look at Jalen Ramsey, you knew Jalen was going to be a stud.
Yeah.
You look at Joe Burrow, you knew when you signed Joe Burrow, you had something special. You know what I mean?
I'm always skeptical of a college quarterback coming into the NFL.
Sure.
But, I mean, it makes Donald, it's even more because he's a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Or right end.
I mean, clearly there was a lot of hype about him coming out of college, for sure, 100%. But I didn't expect him to turn into what he has.
Yeah. I mean, well, there are. I mean, you can't even think of another left end or defensive tackle that they've called the best football player in the league ever.
For sure. I mean, that's really difficult. The only guy who comes close right now is T.J. Watt or when J.J. Watt was doing his thing. Yeah. Those are the guys that they said, oh, yeah, but they haven't held up. Like, has Donald ever had a really significant injury that's kept him off the field?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, goddamn, look at him with his shirt off.
When a guy practices,
he just looks like clean, like there's no fat on him as a D lineman.
When a guy practices with knives, he's not to be fucked with, and he does not care.
When he
about
practices with knives, okay.
Oh, you've never seen those videos?
No.
Where a guy literally has 2 knives in his hand and is trying to like cut at him, and he uses his hands to keep him off of him. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's how he rolls, though. You want to be the best, don't get cut.
I don't know if that's going to be the greatest thing if he slows down ever, but he's also been talking about he might retire. He says he's not ready to make that decision. How old is Aaron Donald? This is becoming a big trend in the NFL where a lot of these younger guys are ready to retire at young ages because they see some of these old dogs still in the game and they look really bad. They look really hurt. And then they deal with those consequences for the rest of their lives. I don't know. I mean, look at Patrick Willis. He looked, we were like, he's crazy. Why is he doing that? Now he looks like a genius.
He's only 30 years old.
Yeah. Well, for a defensive lineman, not bad.
No, still young.
I mean, he's been in the game, what, 8 years now? 9 years?
He got drafted in 2014, so 8 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he hung it up right now, I feel like this is a foregone or, a rhetorical question, but is he a Hall of Famer?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten the 20 sacks more than once.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's really done that.
I mean, if he plays next year,
yeah,
and they, has another great year, I think he's first ballot. He may be first ballot now, depending,
I mean, quite the career for that kid.
Yeah.
3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, 7-time First Team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler.
So every year Pro Bowl.
Deacon Jones Award. NFL
8 years he's been a Pro Bowler?
Yeah.
Every year.
NFL 2010 All-Decade Team. Like,
got to be first ballot.
So maybe not
even
first
as
ballot.
of now. Got to be.
Okay, so let's shift that question. Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
People have been saying that about him all week. And
Sure.
there are 2 different sides of this argument.
Big time.
Yeah,
Especially if you listen to Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman had quite the quote and a lot of things to say about Matt Stafford.
Several things.
it's the truth, though. He didn't say anything that was a lie.
Yeah, he's not lying.
Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying, golly, Rich. Here's the quote from Richard Sherman. This came off of Twitter. The Hall of Fame bar is incredibly low now, like a participation trophy. No all-decade team, no all-pro, no MVP, one Super Bowl, not even MVP of the Super Bowl, never considered the best in any year he played. At least Matt Ryan has an MVP. I mean, he's 12th all-time in yards. He does have a ring the first moment he gets out of Detroit. I personally don't think Matt Stafford's done either.
No.
God, how bad would that be for the Rams if Aaron Donald decides he wants to retire, Andrew Whitworth decides he wants to retire, McVay, who has been talking about it as well, says he wants to retire, and then you lose Matt Stafford too.
Nah, apparently McVay's not stepping away.
No, I don't believe he would be either. But it's been one of those conversations. He doesn't see himself being a really old coach.
Yeah, I get it. But, I mean, you're what, 36 years old?
Yeah, he's 36 or 37.
You've already been to the Super Bowl twice in 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm. In 3 years, I think it was.
Yeah, why?
You know, why would he retire?
Yeah.
Just because they've made all the money they need to make. None of these guys are hurting for money if they retire. They're not going to be like trying to apply at the sporting goods section at Walmart if they get fired.
I get it. Why wouldn't you continue to build and work on that? You know what I mean? Like, you're 30-something years old. You know how many coaches just want to be coaches by the time they're 40, 45, and you're already a head coach with a Super Bowl ring and 2 appearances.
And 2 NFC championships.
Yeah, like, keep those accolades going, bro. Keep coaching.
But to him, maybe he's done all he needs to do.
Fair.
You know? I mean, look at Madden. Madden didn't coach crazy long.
No.
He got out and got into the broadcast game. Then he made some video game or something. I can't think of. Maybe it's Tecmo Bowl or something.
John Madden.
Yeah. I don't know what he made.
Don't know what he made either.
Sounds sketchy, honestly. I don't think it would be that popular. But
no, I don't put Stafford in that group of a Hall of Famer. Not yet.
Really? I don't disagree. I actually don't have a side to it. I'd love to just see kind of how it plays out. If Stafford goes back and wins another ring, then for sure. Now we got to talk.
Yeah. I actually came across an article the other day where they were talking about a lot of people that were in the Hall of Fame that technically didn't deserve to be there or shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It was really interesting because a lot of them are players that you know, but really didn't have great stats.
And when you look, it feels like a popularity contest.
Exactly. And I was like, I thought I saved it to bring it up one of these days, but
no thanks. Didn't happen. So what about the Cincinnati Bengals? I picked them to win, and for most of that game, I was looking pretty smart.
Yeah.
I know I'm glad Nello's not here to try to rub in the fact that I took a risk on a team that almost won. And he's not going to be here to rub it in that the favorite won and he booked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were if you want to speak his language, the Rams were a -4 point favorite. They won by 3, so they didn't cover the spread.
Yeah.
So as far as he's concerned, you were spot on.
I mean, they really played a lot better than I thought, and they were 1 score away. I don't care when it was. 1 score away from putting the Rams away.
Yeah.
They fought valiantly. I don't know if we see them return to prominence.
I was about to say,
in that
for sure,
that blatant face mask on Ramsey should have called that touchdown way back.
Yep.
But, again, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Here's another thing on the second touchdown for the Rams, the big one, there was a blatant offsides not called.
Right.
So this is the point where I am sitting here going, don't come at me with officiating. I don't care. The only team that can blatantly say officiating is the problem, we are not there, is the Saints on that PI penalty when the receiver basically got tackled and nobody called it. That was the famous one that happened in the Superdome. That's the only time you can come to me and go, oh, the refs really fucked us on that one.
Not really, because in that same game, the drive before, they caught a face mask that didn't get called, and the Rams would have been on the 1. So it's even.
And that's why I'm sitting here saying, don't come at me with saying that the refs ruined it. If you want to win the game and not put it in the hands of the refs, bury them.
I mean, I feel like unless it's like something like the year Miami played, who was it? Ohio State. and they're in overtime, and in the back of the end zone, that blatant like pass interference that they didn't call, and you win like that.
Yeah,
you get up like
that.
That's officiating.
That illegal
when you're
screen.
in, like, fours.
You're talking about Clemson versus Alabama with Hunter Renfrow when they did the little out route.
The illegal screen in Tampa for that game-winning touchdown for the tie for Clemson.
Yeah,
that was just
that's a last play of the game.
Terrible missed call that would have put them back 10 yards, and who knows what would have happened. It was at the end of the game. There was really nothing they could do. And not just because I'm a Bama fan. It was blatant. It was a blatant pick, and it should have been called, but whatever.
But, hey, at the end of the day, the Rams are the champs.
Yep.
Do we see them back next year to even make it to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I think they're in a lot of money troubles and keeping
it feels like everybody in the league is in money troubles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that they're like the Packers.
They were bad.
They are so far over the cap, it's silly. And they're already talking about wanting to sign Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers way into the future with guaranteed money just so they can keep those two around. But at what point do you think about like the rest of your team? Right? Like how many years are you giving up to try to keep all these guys?
I mean,
the Bucs are not a stranger to it either, although Tom Brady and Gronk, thanks a lot, boys. They did us a solid by taking off because, I mean, let's not kid ourselves and think that Rob Gronkowski is going to come back now that Brady's gone.
No, that's not happening.
He was here for Brady. I don't see him coming back whatsoever.
No, he was already retired, so he's definitely out.
Yeah. So now that frees up room for us to sign people who are really important to the team, like Godwin. And now this has turned into one of the biggest quarterback carousels of all time.
I just hope that Brady doesn't retire.
He unretires?
That he unretires, but wants to play elsewhere, and the Bucs are able to trade him for some really good capital or something. Because he's on the active roster till June.
Mm-hmm.
They could, if he comes back and says, "Hey, I want to play," starts having that discussion. I want to go here or whatever, and they start working things out. That would be ideal.
First of all, he's here. If he's here, Light and Arians aren't going to trade him. Second of all, I'm pretty sure a guy like him can say, "I've got a no trade clause. You ain't getting rid of me."
And at 45
he's
years old, who's trading that much for him?
They can trade him if he. I mean, obviously, if he retires, nobody's going to take him.
Sure,
But if he were to say, "You know what? I'm not going to retire, but I want to play somewhere else just for, whatever reason. Try it out." You know what I mean?
I don't see why he would do that, but
because what if he went to, say, the 49ers like they're talking about? Let's say Brady goes to the 49ers, we get Garoppolo and something else.
I would want Trey Lance.
What if Brady won a Super Bowl at the 49ers, now he's got 3 Super Bowls at 3 different teams?
It seems just too far-fetched.
I know.
I thought he was. He only signed a 2-year. Did he extend in order for them to get him back?
We still have one more year with him. It's just there's an opt out. So technically he's under contract, but they've got that opt out clause where if he retires or whatever, he's done.
Because I thought he only signed a straight 2-year deal. Which, I mean, I know, like with rookies and different things, you get that option after the fact to do something with him. Somebody like that, I figured he would have just been like, "Nah, 2 years and I'm done." Like, there's none of this.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he's looking at it like, listen.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But I was figuring sometimes they will, when they meant to keep everybody, sometimes he may have the same somewhat contract but restructured. So they might have added more time to it, but not really add more time to it. You know what I mean?
What are we've talked about it again.
So that it counts less against the cap.
Yeah. The forgivable years or whatever they are.
For
like Taysom Hill's big contract. Which, by the way, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with him either. A lot of people have said that here's 2 rumors I heard during the week about free agents that could possibly come to Tampa. Cam Newton and Jameis Winston. I was like, what?
I heard Jameis before.
I mean,
dear God, please no.
I mean, honestly, if you're looking at it without your feelings towards Jameis, of the available players that could come back and play, he's one of the best options.
My order is Russell Wilson,
who's just already said he wants to stay in Seattle.
right? Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, that's our best option.
Kirk Cousins.
Why would you want Jimmy G
Kirk
over
Cousins.
Jameis
Then probably
Deshaun, Kyler.
Well, I'm not even counting Deshaun and Kyler. Then maybe then maybe Jameis, Cam. I don't really know. They just have so many. It seems like they have so many headspace problems between the two of them. Like, what was Jameis's problem? It wasn't his eyesight. LASIK didn't fix him. What was his problem here?
Well,
in Tampa? Why couldn't he get it done?
LASIK didn't fix him. Play calling fixed him.
I don't.
Running for his life in New Orleans, you mean?
Or in Tampa, I don't know.
I mean, we have one of the best offensive lines in football right now.
Right now, exactly.
Last year, he had a just fine offensive line. This last year in Tampa, he didn't have
Tristan.
He didn't have Tristan Wirfs. He just liked to throw it to the other team.
Well, there's another reason for why he didn't want to. He got sacked more than anybody.
Wouldn't let go of the ball
because he wouldn't let go of the ball.
Yeah.
He'd get back there and he knew about all the pick talk, and he would get so gun shy about letting it go. And then by the time he was ready to let it go, he's back there for 5 seconds.
That shit was on y'all. Y'all fucking Tampa fans did it to him. It's all your fault.
We're the toxic ones now.
Yep.
Wow. I think you're just being a homer right now, Ryan. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, 51.
He's over there doing
5,100 yards, 33 touchdowns. You don't hear the 30 interceptions. You're like, damn, your boy did his thing.
If you don't hear the 30 interceptions, that's why we got rid of him.
But it happens. I mean, Peyton Manning throws 28 and nobody bats an eye. Jameis throws 30 and everyone loses their fucking mind.
Okay, Heath, but one of those was much more.
Let's not put Peyton in the same space as Jameis, because that's some Nello ridiculousness. Okay.
My point being is that someone starting out, even he wasn't that great for a long while. A lot of quarterbacks do that. They throw a lot of interceptions in the beginning.
Very true.
You know
but if you look at the trend over the years, Manning continued to impress and get better, and Jameis's numbers did not improve in terms of throwing picks.
Yeah.
And this was these last 2 years is where we could finally see that the defense could even damn shine, because we finally had a quarterback that could move the ball, get first downs, and score points.
Yeah. Mostly burn some clock and give them time to rest.
Exactly. That's
the biggest thing. It's field position's number one. Giving your defense time to rest is number two.
For sure. So I guess back to the Bengals and their fight with the Rams. I don't know what all they could do other than spend all their money on their offensive line.
Yeah.
Because if they had a better offensive line, which those guys played their ass off, they played well. But if they had a better offensive line, I think they're champs.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow got sacked 7 times, 6 in the second half. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like I said, the last play, another 2 seconds, Jamar Chase's touchdown.
Yeah.
All day. He wouldn't even have had to hit him in stride. Ramsey was face down on the ground. He just would have had to get it into his hands, and Jamar Chase touchdown, game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I heard the announcer say during the Super Bowl that they could have opted to go for explosiveness or for the line, and they went with explosiveness by picking Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I'm not going to go back and say that's a bad pick.
But, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Penei Sewell is a beast, but...
Penei Sewell is they're saying one of the best linemen Detroit has ever seen, and he's locked down the left side in Detroit, which doing anything positive in Detroit means you're a superstar.
Yeah.
But Penei Sewell would have been just as good a pick.
I can see the Bengals right back in it next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see them, because I was not sold on them in the playoffs. I'm like, they just don't have it, but they kept proving me wrong.
I want to say, like, literally every one of their games was decided by whether a field goal.
Yeah, they were scrappy, because they're scrappy.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of talent.
It's because Joe Burrow. I mean, that guy obviously does a lot to keep them in the game. But, yeah, their first pick overall is probably going to be a lineman.
It's got to be.
I mean, they're going to be picking the best possible meathead out there.
That's left. You got to.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of teams are going to have to do this first thing. But I figure, so this isn't going to be the longest episode ever. But, let's talk about a little bit more about the future and where we're going to be looking in the draft. And, I mean, I feel like this is going to be one of the most wide open seasons we've had in a long time, especially if Rodgers goes somewhere else. I don't see a team that I'm like, damn, those guys are going to crush it, because we were all dead set on a handful of quarterbacks and a handful of teams at the beginning of the year. Titans being one of them, Bucks being one of them, Rams being one of them for sure. But I don't know if they repeat what they did last year.
Oh, just to interrupt you for a quick second, quarterback carousel. Apparently, Carr's about to get a $40 million extension.
Whoo,
They are
takes
gonna
his name off the list.
$40 million
He's about to get an extension, fall in the $40 million per year range.
Per year?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No,
Yeah.
not
Carr
per
likely to
year.
get $40 million per year. Per
That,
Bleacher Report.
oh my God. That's a lot of change.
They see
Yeah.
something I don't.
Well, I mean, what's your favorite thing? He's not that guy. Do you think if they throw $40 million Derek Carr's way, they're going to have anything to throw at a possible Devontae Adams signing?
I think so.
When does the free agent period start?
I'm not sure.
I think it's in March. I think it's March 16th.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's the 16th.
When's the draft? 1st of April?
21st.
Yeah. No. The draft is the 1st of April.
When is it?
I don't think it's in the
It
first.
should be later in the month of
Is it in April?
I believe
later
so.
in
Then
that
free
month.
agency is in March.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's pull up the Googs. We can Google it. It's worth
April
the Google.
28th to the 30th.
That's the draft.
That's the draft.
So let's see free agency NFL. Let's see, what day is that thing going to start?
March 16th.
I was right. March 16th, 4 p.m. Oh, boy. Let's take a look at this. Free agent overall accuracy or overall rankings. Number one free agent for 2022, Devontae Adams. Can't argue with that. You really can't.
No.
Let's get into the rest of that list, Tom. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into that list of free agents. We'll see you guys in just a minute. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The Cigar City Sports Podcast and home of the biggest Dallas Cowboys superfan you ever did know,
Hello.
Mr. Nello Camarota. I know he loves it. He's really just happy with it. So, you get that title, buddy. So, into the offseason, I've got this top 150 free agents for 2022. Figure we'll take a look at these, who we think is going to get re-signed. There are a lot of TB initials next to players.
What does TB mean?
Tampa Bay.
Oh.
The big three for us for Tampa. Let's just get over with them. Chris Godwin, Ryan Jensen, Carlton Davis. You got to pick one. Who's sticking around?
Jensen.
Clay, who you got? I'm going Jensen as well.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you. I love Chris Godwin. I think he's fantastic. But, yeah, I got to see you go, buddy, unless we could sign you for something reasonable. He's 25.
Yeah.
I wish we could trade him for something. Why didn't we? I know why we didn't. Carlton Davis, really? I mean, I want to see him be a lot better. I don't know, because all three of those guys are going to command a lot of money
Yeah.
to stick around, unless they're wanting to stay in Tampa.
Carlton Davis is like, whoever you send me to, I don't want to play Tyreek Hill twice a year.
That's the problem. That's probably the division that needs corners more than anybody. Think about that whole division. I mean, you've got to face Tyreek twice a year. You've got to face Travis Kelce twice a year. You've got to face Herbert twice a year, who's got Eckler and Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
And then you've got the Raiders, who now have who at
Waller.
wide receiver
Renfro.
other than Waller and Hunter Renfro. Okay,
Well, he
two
ain't
Pro
much.
Bowlers.
But if it works out, maybe Devontae Adams.
I was about to say Devontae really wants to go there.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he is first on this list at 29, which seems weird that he's 29 because he looks so young. But
Black don't crack, baby.
Devontae, so, I mean, I think he would want to go to somewhere like Las Vegas or stay with Aaron Rodgers. But can either one of those teams afford him?
I don't know. The likelihood of him going to one of those teams is probably small. From what I've seen and heard, is that more than likely Miami, because they have a buttload of money.
They have all the cap they need.
They have about, I think it's almost 100 or 96 million.
Man, the Miami Dolphins front office, in terms of collecting capital and draft picks for these years, have done a phenomenal job in terms of paying their coaches to lose and other stuff that's been keeping them in the news. That's not good.
Was it Kubiak that was just their coach, or was it the Texans?
Kubiak was the Texans' previous head coach.
Yeah, that's where they made all their picks up at.
Yeah,
for Laramie Tunsil. I mean, I get it on Kubiak's end, but they're set up right now.
Yeah,
could have been set up.
They honestly had a great run to the end of the year too. Next we've got somebody, Tyron Armstead, left tackle for New Orleans. He's only 30. He's going to command really big money.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati will make an offer to him. Tell you what, I think their cap is looking okay. I don't think they're too bad. Pull up the cap list and see where we got teams sitting at. And speaking of Mike Williams, he's about to be a free agent too. Do you think he wants to play for somebody not named Justin Herbert?
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
You see what they're doing and what they could be, I would stay if I was him. Or maybe, honestly, get out.
Huh.
Because in the AFC right now, it's a wild, wild west with those youngins. Between Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Watson, who's still out there.
Watson, who could come back. And one of our guys on the show or on the Facebook page said he thinks he's only going to get a 6-game suspension. At that point, you're still a Super Bowl team if your quarterback can come in, or you can maybe string together a couple wins. Maybe the Washington Commanders do something with it.
The problem is they sold the farm. When they got rid of D-Hop,
yeah,
they got rid of Will Fuller.
Uh-huh.
They got rid of their running backs. They got rid of a lot to try to rebuild or do whatever they're going to do. I don't know. Yeah. I don't really see the Texans being contenders anytime soon.
I don't either. But they I don't know what they're doing, honestly. But I see that left tackle going to the Bengals for sure. Next on the list, Chandler Jones and Von Miller, 31 and 32. Both of them getting ready to hit the market. Von Miller, I could see him being like, I'm done, man. I got my second ring. I'm cool.
Yeah, but I could also see him staying at the Rams, depending on what goes on there.
He also said he'll always be a Bronco. I love the Broncos. I'll always be a Bronco. If the Broncos somehow signed Aaron Rodgers, Vaughn might come back.
I can tell you this. The Rams do this coming year what the Bucs did this past year, shoe in for the Super Bowl, for sure.
Okay, and I guess Miami's cap is $64 million. The $90 million I saw must have been before they... You know, they different calculations and whatnot. So they're at number 1. Los Angeles Chargers are at number 2. And good old Jacksonville's at number 3.
Jacksonville. Now they're going to get
and Cincy
a left tackle number 1 overall. Cincinnati
is that number
can
4.
buy their way back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because that defense will get better. If they can draft a tackle or get one of these guys, because let's look at the tackle list. We got a left tackle, Tyron Armstead. He'd go well there. Orlando Brown Jr. is just a tackle, right or left, but Kansas City's probably going to want to keep him. And we go down the list a little bit further. Let's see who else we got. Dwayne Brown coming out of Seattle, but he's a little long in the tooth to get big boy money. Eric Fisher, who went from KC to Indianapolis, is about to be a free agent. And he's 31. You see him going back
to Kansas City because they actually were talking about bringing him back, but it just didn't work out for some reason.
Yeah.
And
can they afford him?
I thought they got $236,000 in cap.
I thought with their cap they could only.
They only got 1 comma cap space.
Yeah, they can only afford 1 player on their roster, and that's Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it.
Other notable names on the list, Tyron Matthew is another one. He said he wants to go back to Kansas City. He likes Kansas City.
I see him taking the cut to stay. He's made enough money.
I see that, or I could see him coming to Tampa if he was looking for a team that needs him that could still be in the fight.
Would love to see him come to Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either. I think he would go to a team like the Saints maybe because he's from Louisiana.
I honestly still see him playing with Kansas City.
I don't see him really leaving KC. He's already, made it apparent he wants to stay. And why not? I mean,
he says if we can make it happen, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, you are a very high probability of going to the Super Bowl if you stay with the Chiefs.
So, yeah, we've got, Rob Gronkowski's on the list as well. I don't, we've talked about that. I don't see him going anywhere. But further down the list, Bucs fans, there is a must resign on this list. And out of Leonard Fournette and Jordan Whitehead, it's not who you think it would be. I feel Jordan Whitehead has got to come back.
I agree 100%.
He was a tone setter on defense this year. He was making people blowing snot bubbles on the sidelines. There's no reason we couldn't sign them both. But if somebody looked at me and goes, Jack, who you re-signing, Jordan Whitehead or Leonard Fournette? I'm taking Jordan Whitehead.
Full agreement.
Because our secondary is so suspect, and it has so many problems. And the guys that do the job that keep us in there are Mike Edwards, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Jordan Whitehead, who are rotating safeties, and Mike or Jordan Whitehead and Edwards will play slot every once in a while. But those guys are the best ones. We need some corner help big time. So I don't know.
Zach Ertz is a free agent?
Zach Ertz, wow. Really? Didn't he just sign somewhere else?
Yeah, that's why I was a little surprised to see his name on that list.
Where is he? To point him out. Sorry, it's a huge list.
58. Go up.
Oh, 58. Okay, that's why I couldn't see him.
Goes.
He's about to leave Arizona, you think?
I mean, he didn't do anything.
What do we
He
think?
actually
What
got
do we think about the accusations of Kyler Murray being immature in the locker room and feeling like the team set him up to fail?
I don't know. I heard that they were mad at him because he wasn't the first guy in, last guy out type of attitude.
Well, if you want to be a quarterback in the league, that's kind of become the expectation.
It may be the expectation, but if he plays as well as he did, for the most part, they went on a nice run.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to be the first one in and the last one out to be good.
There he is again, Jameis Winston. Bucs fans, don't be shocked. The only reason he wouldn't come back is because it was a pride thing. Didn't work in Tampa. I don't want to go to Tampa. He came here and ate the W's with New Orleans.
Oh, Michael Gallup's a free agent too, huh?
Yes, he is. Cowboys will sign him.
Casey Hayward
out of Las Vegas. Melvin Ingram, who just found a new home in Pittsburgh from the Chargers. Then he went to KC and went to the AFC Championship game, and now he's a free agent again. Who's going to want to pick him up? Here's another one that I could see coming to Tampa. Stefan Gilmore. That gentleman, I believe, once he was leaving the Patriots, decided to go and follow all of the entire Bucs organization and then was traded to the Panthers. So if he's coming back, I would take him in a heartbeat. Not just because he's got talent at 31, but because he could coach up all those other guys.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, at that age, I don't. With you being so tight on the cap, it's not a person I'd bring in.
I would. I'd bring him in if he's willing to work with us. And I'm not saying he needs to get top corner money, and I don't think he thinks he's going to get top corner money either.
He still might command a decent salary from somebody else, but
possibly.
I don't know. If it's me, I wouldn't look at you guys because I'm going to want something, you're going to want something else. I don't see it working.
Sure. You think, well, and us not having a solid person at the quarterback position is going to sway a lot of people's decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really, really hard to.
My boy Harold Landry on that list better get picked up by us.
Oh, he's that's the linebacker.
Yes.
Right? He's the one who had the huge year on defense.
Yep.
And was, if I'm not mistaken, leading the team in sacks.
Also, Mr. Rashawn Evans, I'd love to see come back, but I
Roll Tide. Roll Tide, Rashawn.
Doubt it's going to happen, though.
Why is that?
And Jayon Brown. I mean, he just didn't perform well, I guess they said.
Rashawn didn't?
I thought he was all right. And, I mean, I see Juju Smith-Schuster on that list.
Here's another one. Dante Hightower.
Ben Jones.
That guy, with his career so far and what he's done at the middle linebacker position in New England, do you think New England makes him one of the highest paid linebackers? I think they would.
I mean, why not? The guy's a beast.
He's won them how many rings? He's got 4 or 5. Of the rings that Brady's got, he's got plenty.
Yeah.
He brings leadership. He brings everything, but he knows Belichick's defense pretty well. I don't know.
It's one of those things, though, man. When you play in New England, you don't really make a lot of money. That's one of their things. Is like they keep people to a certain spot.
Yeah, he's got 3 championships, 2015, 2017, 2019. At middle linebacker, he's big, he's fast.
Yeah, and he runs that defense.
You know he can run your defense on the field.
Yeah.
Who's going to pick him up? I think New England is silly not to pick him up. Not to draft Dante, or not to re-sign Dante Hightower, the heart and soul of your defense.
I don't see how you don't, because this is probably his last contract.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you
it's
sign him
age.
for 4 years, he's done after that.
Yeah.
I would even do a 3-year with a 1-year option for him.
Yeah.
There's your answer, Tampa Bay, right there. Teddy Bridgewater.
You stop that right
Bring
now.
in
Teddy
Teddy.
Two Gloves?
No.
Bring in Teddy.
That guy is at the bottom of the list for
I
me.
think if you can guard him or guard for him or block for him, rather. Well, where's my brain at? If you can block for him, he's a viable option.
No. I do never been impressed with Teddy.
Here's what I want to know is how is Marcus Mariota higher on the list? And how about that? The 1 and 2 overall picks from that year's draft, both free agents, both chilling and both nowhere near the top of the list.
If things worked out in a way that the Bucks can't offer the money Fournette can get, that other name down there that was just on there, Cordero Patterson.
I was gonna say something
Love
about
to
that.
see him come to the Bucks.
I mean,
He's not
up
going to
there
want
in
to play
age,
running back.
though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. He can
just
still
think
he'll
he's
still
a-
play running back.
You think he's a better overall?
But my God, he's amazing. He can do
Yeah.
whatever you need him to do.
Yeah, he really was talented.
And
It
it's
was-
not just because he had this last year that was really great. He's had other great years and has been a great utility player. But
And he's listed as a running back, so I take that back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Cordero Patterson cares.
Is he? Yeah, he is much
He's
higher.
just better
Oh,
in
here's
space.
one at 41 that's going to get a lot of contention. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah,
I have a feeling we will see him go to California. He's going to want to go to L.A. Or he's going to want to go to San Diego. Or maybe not the 49ers, but maybe. I think a good pickup for him, if they lose Mike Williams, then Juju Smith-Schuster they can get to come in there and replace him. Being thrown to by Justin Herbert, I bet you that would be a big upgrade. Nothing against Big Ben, but that's a huge upgrade.
let's see who else is on this list.
Anthony Barr.
I saw that too.
This kid right here is amazing. He can blow up plays. He's fast. I don't know. He came from UCLA, and he's still with Minnesota, who he started with. So I'm interested to see where he'll
And
go.
he's
And
still
I would be
relatively
surprised if they let him go.
Yeah, he's still relatively young.
Yeah. So
Good old Devin McCourty.
good old Devin McCourty. And,
About 48 years old, still playing.
yeah, here's James Conner on the list, too. Already a free agent again. That's another running back out there that people might be able to take a look at. I don't know if running back is on anybody's high priority this year.
No, running backs are a dime a dozen now in the NFL. A lot of them are
Yeah,
running back
it's weird.
committee.
Now, we have some that are really, really good, but they're not making as much of a difference in today's NFL.
Unless your name's Derrick Henry.
Unless your
Jonathan
name is
Taylor.
Derrick Henry. But even Derrick Henry hasn't been able to break that ceiling.
Yeah. Oh,
I hope he does. If he does, I'll be the first guy wearing the Derrick Henry jersey screaming in the front row. I'll be happy, but
I mean, what ceiling does he need to break?
he needs to get into that AFC Championship game and win and go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the thing that's stopping him from being in that conversation.
yeah. I mean, well, as far as running backs go in the league right now, he's the most dominant, hands down.
100%.
No question.
100%.
So what I'm saying is dime a dozen. Is there a lot of teams don't have that guy that's like Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson, like back in the day where you can hand him the ball 30 times and he's gonna
Yeah.
get it done. A lot of them just run by committee, so they just pick up whoever.
Yeah.
Whenever.
That's worked here, and I brought him up earlier. I'd love Leonard Fournette to come back.
Good old Lenny.
I mean, he has definitely got a rabid following down here in Tampa.
Well, he's come through big time.
Yeah. So I think him being here is going to be another thing that they want to look at and take care of. Patrick Peterson, another corner on the list. 1 year in
Super
Minnesota.
Old, man. Super old.
Super old, 31.
That's old by football years.
I
man.
mean,
You gotta
hey,
remember.
I know.
You get him for a few years down here in Tampa, gladly take him.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Joe Hayden's hitting the free agent market, and he's older than Patrick Peterson. That's
Bro,
surprising.
he
That's an
used
old
to be
Florida
a
boy.
Absolute beast back. I will give him props. That is one of the only Florida Gators that used to be like crazy locked out, good at corner.
Yeah, he was really, really good. He's been good in the NFL.
I mean, even he's no Vernon Hargraves out there trying to play defense in his sandals, but
That's true.
you know,
So let's say if you're Jason Light and you've got all this stuff in place and it comes down to we have to make a decision between Fournette and Godwin, which one would you
Oh, my gosh.
put the off? It can only
If
be the
I've
one.
got to pick one of them, I'm going with Godwin.
Godwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Godwin's
100%.
younger. He's had an explosive career, and he's already shown he can do 1,000-yard seasons without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think him and Mike Evans, that's the best duo in football. I thought it was going to end up being A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. We know how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are healthy and both on the field, they're the best duo in football.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying
agree.
to find someone to argue with, but
T. Higgins and Jamar Chase I would accept as a contender. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson I would consider a contender.
Yeah.
OBJ, Cooper Kupp, and think of this three-headed monster. You ready for this? OBJ, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, all three on the field next year getting thrown to by Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
OBJ is a free agent, so
Yeah, but you know he wants to come back.
does he though?
I could definitely see him staying at the Rams.
Oh, I mean, I could see it too.
Oh, boy. Mr. O.J. Howard.
Oh, did you take my bet? Like the first touchdown scored by OBJ? Did you place it?
I
You
didn't.
bet. Oh, you should have. Told you.
I know. I know.
Should have.
You said he was going to have a big game, and he had a big game, even getting hurt and going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when I look down the list here, I mean, Jabril Peppers, wow.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, too, talking about the Super Bowl, when you were mentioning all the playmakers for the Bengals, I said, don't sleep on Tyler Boyd. He had a pretty good Super Bowl.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Tyler
Yes,
Boyd
he
is,
did.
He's carried
So
me
did
through my,
Jamar Chase.
Fantasy league a few years.
Oh, Jamar Chase had a big game, including getting away with that face mask.
That wasn't him. That was the other guy.
No, it was
that
Jamar
wasn't.
Chase.
No, it wasn't.
No, that wasn't.
The
That was
Facebook
T.
was
Higgins.
T. Higgins.
That was T.
Oh, it was T.
Yeah,
Higgins?
T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, all I remember is just a blatant face mask, and I thought Ramsey was on Chase the whole time.
It was 8-5.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of good linemen on that. Ben Jones.
Ben Jones or Byron Jones?
Right up top, Ben Jones is a free agent.
Oh,
You've got,
center. Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm not taking him over Brian Jensen.
No,
I don't know if anybody is, honestly.
but Ben Jones is also really good.
Yeah.
Got a few linemen in here that Cincinnati could go clean up with.
They really could. Schiff is another one. I mean, they've got the money for all these guys.
Yeah.
But the problem is eventually they're going to have to pay Burrow and Chase and Mixon.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of obstacles to overcome.
Well, Mixon, they should have. Well, he's already on his third year, right?
Mixon
Well,
is
so his option
yeah.
should have already been picked up, or either,
right. No, I
or-
think his option was picked up. He doesn't have a big extension, but he's probably going to get extended.
Yeah, so you got that. I mean, you could always, stagger those two or do something. I'm sure they got enough money to pay both of them,
For sure.
but
The problem is how are they going to structure that? Because Burrow will be the highest paid quarterback in the game.
no, he won't.
Yeah, he will.
He will not be. He will not make $500 million and be paid higher than freaking
Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Yeah, he will.
Guarantee you won't.
So
I
I
will
bet
bet
you would
you a whole
guarantee
dollar.
money. You would guarantee money that Mahomes wouldn't have got the contract he did. I mean, these contracts in the NFL have gone higher and higher and higher. And it's not, and we've seen this, it's not always reflecting on their talent that they're giving that money to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys can all thank your boy Jay Cutler for that.
Yeah.
But look at Mahomes' record versus Burrow's already. I mean, Burrow, he made it to a Super Bowl in 2 years.
Yeah,
That is a great
and the
feat.
last year that he was there, he was injured the entire season. And his first season, he was injured. His first healthy season brought him to a Super Bowl after the records that they had. I'm telling you, Burrow is that guy. And he's going to get that biggest contract in football.
He still has not, in my opinion, he's played well. He's done good, but he hasn't performed like Patrick Mahomes, where I'm like, here you go. Here's $500 million for the next 10 years.
And is it worth it now because he didn't win them that big game against
No,
the
I'm not
eventual
saying
AFC
it's
champion?
not. But I don't see another team doing that.
I maybe not to that extent. I mean, why you'd think they would do longer contracts? We're going to lock you up for 10 years, XYZ $1 million.
I mean, it does make sense. I shouldn't even say it won't happen, because with him being so young, he could lock him in for 10 years, structure it so that it helps their cap. But does he want to play in Cincinnati for 10 years?
Clearly, he grew up in Ohio, went to Ohio State. Ohio State didn't start him. From Ohio State, he went to LSU, won the championship, and then he got drafted back to Ohio. There are stadiums named after him. He brought them to the first Super Bowl in 40 years. The Ohio football community is going to be willing to pay all the checks to keep Joe Burrow around. To have a hometown boy slinging the ball in Cincinnati and making that relatively useless team before now very relevant. They're going to back the truck up because Mahomes doesn't even have that big of a connection to Kansas City.
Yeah, I still don't know if I want to stay in Cincinnati, though. I don't know if you've ever been to Cincinnati Stadium. I've been by it and drive straight through, bro. Lock your doors and windows and keep on rolling.
I've been to Cincy. There ain't a whole lot there outside of football.
Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, hey, but you say this all the time. If they're going to write that check.
Hey, yeah, absolutely.
You want me to put up with Cincinnati? Sure.
You know what? I'll be a mascot. I'll build my house right next to the stadium.
Yeah.
How many zeros at the end of that check?
Let's
go.
I'm going to get one of those underground bunkers where I can make it holograms of wherever I want to be.
I'm going to name my firstborn son Cincinnati. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Little Cincy's on the way.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Paying him that much like they did Mahomes.
Oh, they're gonna. He's gonna get stupid money.
The problem, though, is I think you'll see with Kansas City is it may cause them more problems than they feel it's worth.
I agree.
And that's why I don't think no one's ever done it before either.
And I think that Kansas City is going to majorly regret that decision in a few years because will they have the best quarterback in football? He'll be in the discussion.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to get you what he got you with the talent he had around you? Probably not.
I mean, look at Tom Brady. Look how much money he's made over the years, and that's a 7-time Super Bowl champ.
Yep. He never made big money like that.
No, he didn't. And that's the thing is like that's why I find it hard for them to be able to be like, yeah, we're going to give Joe Burrow $50 million a year.
I bet you they do.
I mean, I think they could find a way to do it short term, but as far as like 10 years worth, maybe if the structure is better.
I mean, they can afford to pay him whatever they want if they pay him in bonuses, as long as the guaranteed money keeps the cap where it is.
Yeah.
So if they want to pay him like a stupid roster bonus, if you're on the roster by this day, we'll pay you $15 million. And if that doesn't hit the cap, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm not an agent. Whoa. I was one on John Madden football, but
I mean, I haven't studied what the tax implications are. But
I haven't got over the 501c3 forms to make sure. I'd love to sit somebody down on my couch and just write them a contract anytime.
Yeah, but also that's what I was gonna get to next was if they don't beef up that line and he keeps getting hurt. I mean, he made it through this year, but if he gets hurt again and then maybe again, that kind of guy.
Well, the difference between him and like a Sam Bradford is Sam Bradford got paid bajillions of dollars and never did anything relevant ever.
Hey,
that guy is the most overpaid quarterback that never did anything.
Yeah.
That guy was a number 1 overall pick. He's got more money than some pros ever see because of the contracts he got to be hurt and deal with his knee. And now, I mean, he's retired and sitting pretty, never had to do anything. In terms of pro football, his college career, insane. He was throwing dimes for Oklahoma. But in the pros, he did not do that.
Yeah. That is why I'm never too hyped about a quarterback coming from college to the pros until I actually see them, and for a couple years, and actually be not a couple, even more than that, few, just be absolutely steady.
Honestly,
then I'll give it to them.
The greatest of all time was a 7th round pick. You don't have to say anymore.
Yeah,
you really don't. Your pedigree and where you came from means really nothing. Because Brady was not a stone cold killer at Michigan.
Nope.
They were talking to Brian Greasy about him during the game. They said, dude, he was 4th on the roster. We all picked on him. I mean, we knew he was going to be a great quarterback, but he wasn't somebody that, you're going to be able to jump everybody.
Look at Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Didn't even get offers out of high school.
Right.
Nope.
Now look at him.
Yeah, but his dad was a pro football player, so
that
always helps.
He just did in one season
what only one other human being has ever done.
Yeah, what Jerry Rice, it took a career to do.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. And the guy even before this season, what's crazy to me is all this buzz about him, and I get it. He's had a historic season. It's not like he was
trash before, no.
He was always I know because of fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
He was always that guy that,
solid.
People would just blow by him in that second round to take their wide receivers. I'm like, oh, Cooper Kupp, let me go and get Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
He is getting receptions. He does not drop the ball. He runs great routes. He's always been phenomenal. Now you give him a quarterback like Stafford, and look what happens.
Yeah. Like I said, he would have been my second pick in fantasy this year.
Here's the funny thing is this year, if he goes to the second round, my jaw will hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to take him in the first round.
I got to tell you, you get outside of 5 or 6, and he's sitting there, you're considering him. I'm not saying he's the pick at 6.
I'm not going to lie. Last year at 11, if Nick Chubb wasn't still on the board, I would have taken Cooper Kupp.
Got to be honest with you. I think at pick 6, he's the pick.
Yeah.
Because think about the top 5 going off. Your best running backs are gone.
Devontae's gone.
Devontae, maybe Kels, depending.
Yeah.
He's definitely if I'm picking 5th.
No, you're not going to pick him at 6 and have somebody go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, if I'm picking 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, and he's there, that's my pick round 1 for sure.
Yeah.
I'll grab a top middle tier running back round 2
for sure.
Yeah, the guy just
it's like you were saying, running backs are serviceable now.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, like when I draft, if I can't get one of those top guys, I'll take a wide receiver first. There was a year I drafted 5 wide receivers in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in a full point PPR, that's not stupid.
No.
If you're in a full point PPR,
it was a half a point, and I still did it. Just
that's
crazy.
Full point PPR. I mean, shoot, you got a guy like Joe Mixon that might very well be passed up in round 1 that you get round 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
to think that you might get him somewhere like that.
Yeah,
but yeah. It's going to be an interesting season. I am really excited to break down some of these prospects, keep an eye on pro days, keep an eye on people who are coming into the league. We're going to get into the draft, and I think we're going to go division by division for episodes here in the future.
Yeah.
Talking about AFC, North, South, East, West, and same with the NFC, and just saying what those teams need, who they could target in free agency. So stick around. Football season is over, but we are not done. We've still got the fight game. We've still got the Lightning. We've hopefully got some baseball here in our future, but thank you guys for checking us out.
Don't forget March Madness coming up.
That's right.
Yeah,
March Madness. I'm being told I'm going to have to dive into.
Yeah,
and make a bracket. So
some brackets.
Y'all need to help me out.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a bracket challenge, and I'm not gonna help you there, but you're on your own.
Oh, God. All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for us.
See y'all. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. We'll catch you next week.
Tighten up.
Nello, you can give up on the push-ups. We miss you. Just come back, buddy, just so that we know you're safe.
Are you those boys?